Yo, 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 what's up?
On the ones and twos. Like, what?
Okay.
Girl, I wish you would have seen me
You
fold
done
my
tuned
arms
in
over
to
my
the
chest.
I'm over here like I feel like I'm in a radio station.
Oh, you with your radio voice? Is
You
it the
already know.
quiet storm or is we in the throwback 80s hip hop?
Welcome to the Quiet Storm. I'm
Yes.
your host, Jessica Tree,
Period.
and you're tuning in.
I would so tune in, okay?
I'm weak.
Girl. All
Right.
right. So, we got to talk about this
It's
because it was
5 in the
another
morning.
A. And I'm up.
Sorry.
So, hey.
Okay, sorry. Then me. Okay.
It's us like editing the song on our own. Okay. Okay, we're gonna stay focused, I swear. Okay, okay, okay.
Right.
So here we go, girls. So
Okay.
first off, you've been getting banger after banger after banger. Okay, you banged with
Okay.
Dell.
Per
Now you
usual.
come and bang with Microsoft. So here we are. So proud of us. And
Bang on
this,
them.
oh, period. Y'all, this video is
Oh, that's
for
what it was. Okay, there
what
was a
was
couple
it?
things.
You see your what you call it right
I'm
here?
looking at. Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right,
I
I
was like, there
got
was
you.
something else, but that was it too.
So
All right.
you're gonna get inside the
All
mind
right.
of Spice and Barbie, guys. We're gonna make it real quick and let y'all know why we took these trades. It started with Spice and we wrapped it up real nice with a bow, and both of us came into over $1,000 here Monday morning trading Microsoft. So I'm gonna let you start, Spice. What you want me to zoom in on or do for you, girl?
Well, we can leave it right here, right
Okay.
here.
All right, her.
Um, so first things first, you guys, I love to trade without having to use a bunch of indicators. I have like my top two or three, and outside of that, I go off the vibes, as everyone knows I like to say. So, one of the things that I think a lot of traders kind of like fall short on is getting down to the nitty gritty and to the basics of things. And one of those basics is understanding candlesticks, formations, and patterns, or pattern, depending on where you're from. Um, so, Danny, you want to show them exactly what we see right here. So, when we
Yes.
zoom out from Microsoft since February, we had a really, really, really big drop, or end of January. We had a big drop, which created a gap on Microsoft. Now, since then, she's been fighting for her life. Okay.
Fighting.
So, once we had that initial drop down on Microsoft, we began to continue down for over the next like couple months, pretty much. And we just started to rebound in May, right? And that's when we've been kind of eating lately. But if you
Hmm.
look, what you'll notice is that we've been doing a, oh, wait, can I
I
draw
think you
myself?
can. Yes.
I think I can. Okay. I just drew it for you guys. I hope y'all can see that. But this is one of my favorite formations, and I always tell people it's hard to see this one sometimes, but it is an inverse head and shoulders. So pretty much we came down, had a big pop up, and then came down to form a lower low on Microsoft before shooting back up, creating another low, but this new low it created a higher low, and then we began to take back off, right? So pretty much on a larger time frame, I saw this inverse head and shoulders going on. Now, outside of that, how do I delete this?
Okay.
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 Okay. Now, as we you can zoom in
Okay,
into
girl.
June. Now, remember, you guys, I talked to you guys about this gap fill that we had in the January beginning of uh, February. Now, this gap fill was about from 442.50 on Microsoft to about 480. So we're looking at about a $40 gap. that we had on this ticker. So once Microsoft started making that inverse head and shoulders, and we began to get into that gap fill and started to crawl into that 440s, I was eyeballing her hard as fuck, okay? Because, oh wait, can I cuss?
I think you can, girl.
Whatever.
Okay.
I was I was all buying. I was eyeballing her hard as fuck because I just knew this gap fill was a possibility. And if you know anything about tech in these sectors, like we can get really, really, really good moves and momentum on them. As well as we had a catalyst last week with Dell and Microsoft in the AI chips. So that was just even more momentum for us to potentially push into this gap fill. So Friday, I entered. As you guys see, we're looking at a daily candle right now, and Danny's going to go more specific about that. I entered on a smaller time frame. Danny, you can drop down to like the 5 minute period. Thank you. So now, when we zoom in here, you guys, what you'll notice is that we started to fill the gap on Friday. I believe this was Friday.
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
this was, yeah, this is the end of the day Friday. But pretty much we came into the gap fill Friday afternoon. And once we got in there, we kind of held and consolidated for the rest of the day. Now, like I said, I knew this was a major area where we could potentially get a lot of volatility, and we just had some crazy news. So I was willing to take the chance that Microsoft was going to see a good bull run over the next few days. So we went ahead and bought Microsoft calls for the following week. Now, what we did not know necessarily was that boom, first thing on Monday, baby. She didn't even need no time. We just came straight into it. Okay. What's it to you? So we ended up hopping into Microsoft. Like I said, we got that consolidation, but we never dropped really out of it. And my goal was for us to fill about 50% of the gap, which would have been about 460. And if you guys look, Microsoft actually pretty much filled the full gap almost over the weekend. And then we just kind of like ended Monday night back at the 50% mark. But I definitely think we will continue on to that 480s as long as we hold about the 50% area on this gap fill. Um, thank you.
I'm
So, like I
sorry,
said, we're in
girl.
the gap fill
Yes.
and we hit about 50%. And then today, that's kind of where we consolidated at, was the 50% of the gap. So
Hmm.
if we can get back over this area tomorrow, I think that we'll definitely see Microsoft continue to the top of the gap. And then if not, we might retest the bottom and kind of see where we go from there. But either way, we made some money. Okay.
And did.
Okay.
And did. All right. I love it. And so, as you guys can see, Spice had multiple confluences here, even eyeballing this gap fill. And this is the true definition of a sniper, because a sniper is not just, oh, I got this name because I went and made money on the charts. A sniper is someone who watches something intentfully for a while. And the fact that when this gap happened and she kept it on, like on her radar, that's a true sniper. That's a ninja. That's a tiger, a leopard, and a lion. Okay. Literally waiting
Rawr.
and Rar, you're crazy. I love it. But waiting to stalk the prey and like, all right, what's gonna happen here? And as soon as we broke her famous, is it what y'all call this? Is this the neckline? No, or the shoulder, or the what? This little line right here.
Yeah, that was the shoulder. That was the bottom of the shoulder.
Okay,
But once we
period.
broke the neckline, which was like where that first hump was,
Right
that was a
there.
good entry.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to inverse this chart too. Watch this. Hold on. For a person who's like, I can't tell because I did it by accident one time. Look.
Oh yeah, you can do it. Wow. You see how clear? Let me draw.
Okay.
You guys see how clear that head and shoulders? That's the shoulder. And they got a little scoliosis or something going
Not the
on.
shamar.
But
They like to get active.
Okay. Got on base, bitch. Ah. But no. Um, as you guys can see, when you inverse a chart, you can see it because, like I said, inverse head and shoulders. Sometimes, at least for me, they're harder to spot. But when I see it, I can't not see it. So you can always inverse your chart.
Yeah.
And as you guys can see, it was a pretty clear shoulder, head, shoulder.
And
Okay.
then, oh,
Okay.
I love this because now that we've inversed her, right? Oops, sorry. Oop, 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 put it
Hmm.
right back.
Oh,
Now
wait.
we
How do I
know
delete
where we're
these?
headed,
You're
right?
good.
So if we are here in this gap fill, okay, and you're having a hard time, like, man, I just can't see, I just can't. You just go over here to this highest point, which I want to say, here we go, right here. And you know, this is where we fell from before. 533. So
Right.
over some time, we're looking at coming back towards this 533 on this inverse chart. But that's cool. That is cool. So boom, we're gonna put it back where it belongs, for those people who need to see things backwards, all our neurospicy people out there. And then with me, I love what we're going to do right now because I'm going to just sum it up on a strat level. So I remember looking at, well, first off, I trade with Spice. So we trade together. And on the newsletter, Microsoft was already like on the record, like, hey, y'all, okay, Microsoft, here we go. Me as a swing trader,
And let
my
me go
favorite.
see what level I said.
Okay, okay, cool. And then while she's doing
Yeah.
that, me as a swing trader, I love to see a pivot. So like right here, my eyes automatically see that we were consolidating in this area, right? There's a consolidation there. And so when I saw us like turn into a doji, which signals a potential reversal, hold on, let me change the color of this. Boom, boom, bam. I love this. And I was like, I got excited. So I'm gonna zoom in because as a swing trader, this is my favorite. If we're going up and we hit a point and we come down and we come down to a doji, even if it's down here like this one or up a little higher, it doesn't matter. I love that. That lets me know that the break of the high of that, I'm looking for an entry in this consolidation phase. So as soon as we broke over 415.82, and then with other confluences like Spice is going to give us her levels and things like that. That's where I was looking at my entry for Microsoft, and that's what I did, right? But let's take it a step further. I love the weekly, so we're going to go all the way up to the weekly time frame. The week is my favorite. All right, so I was looking here, and we had a classic bull flag, and I actually learned that coin phrase from Spice. Okay, but the moment that on the weekly.
Lovable flag.
Yes. And in case you got, go ahead, just draw it for them in case they don't know what I'm talking about, child.
Let me see. Let me see.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever we're looking for a bull flag, you guys, usually price takes a volatile break up. And then, of course, we hit an area where we have to get a little pullback because price is always going to come to retest some support areas. But once we find that support area, which is usually about 30 to 50% of the first move, it will then break that previous high and continue to take off.
There you
So,
go. There's a
bull
bull
flag.
flag. Not a synchronized saying it. I love
Okay.
it. Okay. And then let's show you something else. So
Flag.
you know how Spice talks about gap fills? If you are on a higher time frame like the weekly, boom to bam, we created a fair value gap. Let's turn this green because it's bullish. Okay. So on the weekly time frame, we have here the classic fair value gap. Boom, let's turn it green right there. Okay. And as you can see, and Spice talks about this, about that 50% of a fair value gap. Once we created this, where this wick is the bottom of this candle is here, the top of that candle is there, and we have this aggressive move. Okay. This candle came right down into the 50 and bounced back out of it. This one didn't even make it to the 50. This one tried to attempt to come back into the 50. This one had, they, after teeter-tottering in there, stayed, above this range here. So this was the week of Monday the 18th, okay? So a person could have said, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for us to retest the low of last week and then enter, or I'm going to wait for the break of the previous week high. So there are two ways to play that. Me as a stratter, I like to play the break of the high, but some people like to catch the entirety of the move, and it is easy to do. Once you see us sweep liquidity or swoop just below the previous week, that's where you would enter if we start to reject. So that means a person would have entered at 409 and they would have captured the entirety all the way up to 450. And now we're all the way up to what we came up to 466. So from 409 to 466 in the past 2 weeks, all of that would have been money made for them. So this is why higher time frames are nice, and then you could drop down to those lower time frames and find your exact entry point because you could catch a larger move. You have to be okay with sitting through drawdown or pullback, and with larger time frames, you need to catch it in the beginning. It's not cute when you're catching it on Friday, okay? Like you want to try to catch it in the moment of maybe Monday or Tuesday or whatever the case is. So I say that to say I saw the bull flag. I saw that we were teetering down in this unfair value gap, and then we found a level of support here. So I wanted to see us break above the previous week's high, and we did. That's where I got excited, and I was ready for my entry along with Spice and her level. Spice, what was your level? Did you pull it up?
Yes. So my level was at 434.57, which was just a level I had charted on Microsoft from previous, like a while ago. But that was also where we heavily rejected again the other week. So because we had rejected that same like range around that 430, between 432.24 and 434.57, I wanted us to break above that to catch the move into the gap fill, which was at 440. So that alone would have got you a $6 move on Microsoft. And then once we actually broke into the gap and held it, that was the signifier that I was ready to swing that bad boy because
Okay.
480 is going to be touched.
I'm
Okay.
telling you. I'm telling you. So right there, you see where
That's
two
it.
things can be correct at once. I used the strat. Spice used her levels and she's a walking standard deviation, etc. Both of us were able to get in on this play, and of course, because my friend is saying that this is a good look, and I already had my confluences. All her confluence was like that cherry on top for me to be like, you know what? Hell yeah! And so,
Hell
we
yeah.
did. Hell yeah, we did it, and it was funny because while we were holding, I remember posting a screenshot of this play. Oh my God. Oh my God.
What?
Girl, my baby done got into oh Jesus Christ of Nazareth and got into something she shouldn't have. I think her sister sprayed her hair with
Oh,
bleach.
Lord.
Girl, please. I'm tired with bleach.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to wrap up this session.
Why do they
See,
dislike me so much,
you're
bro?
gonna
If
be
I go
like,
out there and my carpet got bleach on, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
like,
But what I was going to say
please.
before, they literally just rained on my parade. Before they just rained on my parade, is that both entries did us right, and it was funny because I held through persistence and drawdown. My contract was red. I don't know if Spice went through that, but my contract actually went red on Friday. It was only up $5, then it dropped down to being negative like $30, and something was just like, no, hold it. And so I decided to hold the contract until Monday morning, and that same contract that was red then turned to +5 at market close, turned into Alexa, no. Girl, she trying to give me a stock market update. Then it turned into $163. And after it turned into $163 by market close on Monday morning, it was over $1,000. So that's our wrap up. Oh Lord, I hope this baby ain't drink no bleach. But I hope you guys enjoyed our
Lord, I hope not
video.
either.
Okay, because what is life right now? And Spice, thank you so much for carving out time to kick it with me and do this, and to let them into our mind
Hmm.
and to see these different ways that they're able to smack in the markets. So we're going to continue to keep getting these bangers and maybe once a week dropping a little snippet of how to get into our mind. But if you want to kick it with us more, definitely check out Spice World. Definitely check out Clarity to Capital. Emphasis on Spice World. And other than that, we'll talk to you guys again soon.
And our mentorships that are coming up. So tap in and we'll see y'all soon. It's your girl
Yeah.
Spice Girl, aka the Dress of All Trades, aka Big Mama, aka the GOAT.
It's your girl, Trader Barbie,
That's all.
aka Trader Bay, aka Danny Calicia, aka Goat Jr. Bah. All right.
Bah. Do goats go bad or is
Girl,
that
I really don't
a
know
sheep?
because if they don't bat and instead goats like do something different, I'm gonna be looking crazy.
I swear. Now I'm about to look it up. All
Yeah.
right. Well,
All right.
that's the end of this session. We will see y'all next time.
Yes, we'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.